Any of you guys traveling for Thanksgiving? You guys going anywhere?
Matter of fact, I'm traveling northeast. That's all I want to say.
So you will be in an airport, presumably.
Most likely.
What are you planning on wearing when you fly?
Full suit and tie.
Okay. Rob, are you going anywhere?
I am traveling east of this room where I will be in the next studio for Black Friday podcast. So no, my Thanksgiving plans are to be here. So no.
Delightful.
And the last time we traveled, you wore the shortest short shorts that I've ever seen in my entire life. And was it a tank top?
Yeah.
We went to Brazil and you had literally all the way up to the thigh.
Well,
Something about South America.
so now you're going the complete opposite way.
I only wear short shorts when I'm being paid for wearing them. You know what I mean? Same with posting.
I didn't realize they paid you to
How much
wear
are you
them.
being compensated for wearing rainbow short shorts? And who precisely is paying you?
I don't know, but I don't know, but I'm probably
Big
gonna wear
sunblock.
big
A lot of thigh
sunblock.
to
It is a lot of thigh.
Yeah.
And Brandon wearing Brazilian swimsuits.
That's just how they
makes
do
you
things
wear
down
them.
in Chile. But yeah, if you are traveling for Thanksgiving, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy has a message for you. He just launched a new ad campaign ahead of the holiday travel season, calling for the golden age of travel starts with you. Just as the busy holiday travel season ramps up, framed as a throwback to mid-20th century air travel, the campaign uses a 1960s-style video set with Frank Sinatra's Come Fly With Me, contrasting well-dressed, polite passengers of the past with modern scenes of barefoot flyers, in-flight brawls, and viral airport meltdowns. Let's actually take a look at that video and see what the Department of Transportation is trying to tell us to do this holiday season.
Air travel is a miracle of American ingenuity. We build airports to launch a golden age of travel across the skies. We respected the dignity of air travel and the men and women who made the dream possible. Flying was a bastion of civility, but today,
I'm allowed to put my seat back.
but manners don't stop at the gate.
That's right. Manners don't stop at the gate. Things aren't what they used to be. Some would call it the golden age of travel. Let's bring civility and manners back. Ask yourself, are you helping a pregnant woman put her bag in the overhead bin? Are you dressing with respect? Are you keeping control of your children? Are you saying thank you to your flight attendants and your pilots? Are you saying please and thank you in general? The golden age of travel begins with you.
So we paid for that horse shit? We paid for that
It's the
video?
best.
We paid.
I love
your
that.
tax dollars went to making that video?
Hey, it's clear that we are not the only ones who have a hard time hiring video editors. So the federal government shares our struggles. But I got to say, I'm fully on board with it. I can't stand air travel, specifically for the reasons he just highlighted. Of like, everyone's on edge, everyone's angry. From start to finish, the entire process is stressful. And it's my least favorite thing in the world, where you land the plane, and of course they got to pull up to the gate, the terminal to let you out, and you get people in the back 4 rows of the plane standing up and trying to see how far ahead they can sprint before everyone gets off. Like, bro, we all got to walk in the same direction. We all got to get our bags. Why even bother standing up? Like, you just stay seated until the row in front of you gets up, and then you can stand. What, are you going to spend the next half hour standing on your feet? Crowding everybody, breathing down my neck? Drives me insane. And there's also the fact that people come to the airport looking like they just rolled out of bed. They're in pajama bottoms.
That's me.
It-
I want to be comfortable.
It would be
Sorry.
fine. There's a difference between dressing for comfort and dressing like you don't care. Because, okay, you want to wear sweatpants and a t-shirt, whatever. That's acceptable public attire these days. But if you're wearing pajama pants and you're barefoot and you have like a line of drool crusted on the side of your mouth and your hair's all over the place because you just woke up, have a little bit of dignity. I try to make a point of thanking TSA personnel, like, hey, they take my bag and put it on the thing. Thank you very
They touch
much.
you with the back of the hand.
Or, you know, I go through the scanner, and while I'm waiting for the results, like, hey, how you doing today? How's everything going? Try to make conversation, have a human interaction. And, you know, you look back at how people used to fly. People used to put on suits to go fly.
Connor, look, I grew up in there.
Yeah, but they also used to serve full meals on the planes, and now you're lucky if you get pretzels and a cup of
that is
water.
the trade-off. I agree. I will put on a 3-piece suit for every flight I get on if you can smoke and drink a cocktail and have a turkey dinner during the flight.
That I wish I had the pictures here.
No more male flight attendants.
Because
should be females only.
And also back to stewardesses, not
my
flight attendants garbage.
My grandfather, after turning his career, he decided to fly commercial planes. You know, and I
right into the side of a building.
And I come from you know, like I'm from the industry, you know. And as a kid, you know, my dad will force all of us to dress, you know, maybe we're younger, so we'll have to wear khakis and a dress shirt, because there was always a chance to go in first class. You know what I mean? Because we'll fly with the airline tickets. We usually get business assigned, but if there was enough space, we'll go in first class. So you had to dress accordingly. I love that the tax dollars are being spent on shaming people, Rob. Like, I think we need to bring shame back. I love this culturally. This is a very important moment for America, because the only way to get this country back on track is shaming people into behaving like human beings. All right.
I mean, his whole point is that the airports are chaotic around the holidays. Everybody's getting somewhere. Everything's terrible. Just dress like you respect what's going on. Be courteous to the people around you, and everyone can get where they're going faster. You know what delays the process even further when you're waiting in security? When they have to rush out and break up fights because people are throwing stuff around and causing a whole problem in the back.
Have you ever seen that happen? I've only seen it during COVID.
I've seen
that
people,
was the only time where I saw people actually get into like a physical confrontation on a plane.
I've seen people scream at flight attendants and the people at the desks, and like people be very irritated. But even that's really annoying. But more often than not, they're not fighting with airline personnel. It's people fighting each other. People fighting people that they are traveling with, because it's so stressful that you just start lashing out at the people closest to you, including your family members.
Now, if you see it on the positive side, like, still amazing that, you know, this, like, things made out of metal, they fly on the sky, and then you always need to think about, you know, your own mortality. There's a chance that that's your last outfit. So make it a good one. You know what I mean? You're going to be on the bottom of the seat.
Yeah, I would rather be comfortable while I plummet to the ground than strapped in a suit. That's why I have more of a problem with people that wear sweatpants and like the tank top, the shower cap. What is that? I don't understand the shower cap out in public. Could someone help explain that to me? That is a very odd look. I have a bigger problem with people dressing like that and going into a Walmart or a 7-Eleven than I would a plane. I could actually forgive them for dressing that way on a plane because the seating's uncomfortable, it's hot, and you're more than likely going to pass out on some type of pill to get you through the flight. Speaking from personal experience on that one, I hate to fly.
Well, for those
so I don't mind that, but I do mind it when I'm trying to go grocery shopping at the Publix and I see somebody in a bathrobe and slippers walking down the produce aisle. For me, I'm like, I have a bigger problem with that than a person dressing like that in a plane.
And it's a culture-wide problem, because like you get people wearing that to the gym, they wear that to restaurants. Nobody knows how to dress anymore. And we like Humberto said, have lost the shame that comes with, hey, you are inappropriately dressed for the environment you're in. And every single one of us in this room right now keeps a suit, a jacket, a tie, something on hand.
This is my flannel.
No, but
we normally dress
hanging.
casually around the office. For me, it's usually either a flannel, a t-shirt, whatever. But we always keep dress clothes on hand in case Patrick ever calls us and say, hey, I need you for such and such a thing. Because, Rob, you can probably be the one to comment on this most accurately. What would happen if Pat asked somebody to come do something on camera for the PBD podcast and they showed up in a t-shirt and cargo shorts?
Well, it depends. If you're behind the scenes, it's fine.
Yes.
If you're going to be on the show.
If he invites you on the show.
Yeah, I mean, look, there have been people that have shown up in odd attire. Liver King showed up with no shirt on. stunk the worst I've ever smelled any human being. It was very nice, but very roided out, allegedly, at the time. In fact, it came out that was right when he was taking steroids. That was the one time where we had a conversation about guest attire. But the guy was shirtless for the entire episode and wore shorter shorts than Humberto when he traveled to Brazil. So that's the only time I can think of ever that conversation even coming up.
Yeah, but not even as like a famous guest. I'm talking about just like anybody. Like there is a standard of dress and decorum that is expected of people who are invited to do something.
I think this is a bigger
high
topic.
class.
I love that they're bringing this is a high trust society commercial, all right? Because it's not punitive. It's not like, all right, if you don't dress properly and you do this, you're going to jail.
There's no consequence. It
There's
just
no
says
consequence.
it just
It's
says
like-
your life gets easier if you do this.
Yeah, your life will get easier if you do this. Dress accordingly. Don't act like an asshole. And get on the plane, get off the plane, and go see your mother. That's it. And I love it. You know, I wish they did more PSAs like this for everything else.
Yeah. And full disclosure, when I travel by plane, I typically wear slip-on shoes. Like that, you don't see the shoes I wear very often, but like this is what I wear
Every day.
every single day. They are the same
War against laces.
$15 pair of shoes I pick up at Target, and every time I wear one out, I go to Target and pick up the next pair. I think model of these shoes are actually often issued to prisoners.
All right.
But they look nice enough, and they don't require ties. So I refuse to wear shoes with laces to airports, as long as they make you take your shoes off.
I don't think they make
but
you
they
take
don't
the
do that
shoes,
anymore. So the next time I get on a plane, I might consider wearing a nicer pair of shoes just to match whatever it is I'm wearing. It's not the practicality of trying to lace shoes back up in the TSA line. But so there are certain things we have done to try to accommodate how much worse the entire travel experience has gotten.
And I have a hack for you. When Dubai is very far. I grew up there. And when I used to travel, because I went to school in California, when I used to travel there, sometimes I got to fly on the longest commercial flight available for humans, all right? It's 18 hours or like 16 hours. It was something ridiculous. More than 10 hours, like 15, 18 hours or whatever. And the hack is to wear boots on the plane. You know why? Because your blood tends to go down to your feet, and that's why they get swollen and everything. So I will wear like tightly laced boots on my way there, and then that will solve all the circulation problems.
Yeah.
That does not sound comfortable.
I've never really
On
had
an 18-hour flight with boots laced all the way tight. So
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what your feet would have to smell like at the end of that flight.
Oh, I have a very good boots. I spend a lot. Aside from, I've spent a lot of mine on footwear.
Well, that makes sense. But this is like a whole travel industry problem where everything has gotten worse. They try to shove more and more people into these tiny little compartments. Everything's uncomfortable. Everyone's on edge. So while your dress and your attitude can certainly go a long way, there are other things we need to change. You guys ever seen the movie White Christmas? With Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye.
Oh, yeah, it's a classic.
It's a classic Christmas movie. If you haven't seen it or haven't seen it in a while, I recommend you go watch it this holiday season. There's a scene where they are on a train and they're headed, I believe it's to Virginia or wherever they're trying to get to, and they've given their cabin over to the two girls they're traveling with, and they go and they have to spend the night in the dining car because they've given up their place to sleep. And they're sitting around, and I believe Danny Kaye makes some comment about, like, we got to spend all night in this uncomfortable, drafty dining car. I want you to look at that scene when it happens. The thing that they are complaining about as being the uncomfortable, terrible option is unimaginably luxurious compared to any travel experience you will ever have. These guys are in pinstripe suits, leather upholstery, beautiful wood paneling all over the car. There's a guy serving them drinks all night long. The booth is like big and overstuffed. They're able to smoke cigars in there. They're the only ones in the dining car all night long. Could you imagine what it would be like if you got on a plane and there wasn't anybody else on the plane with you, let alone in your row? If you're sitting in a row and you see that the seat next to you is empty and a person isn't showing up, you pray that that guy missed his connection and he's not about to get on, and you have a little bit more elbow room. These guys are complaining about having a whole dining car to stretch out in all night long with a guy who's serving them cocktails the whole way. So things used to be better. Things used to be enjoyable, but then it began to be about maximizing how many people you can fit. And okay, well, you got someone who weighs 700 pounds in the row behind you. They don't have to pay for that extra seat, but for whatever reason, your extra pound in your suitcase was going to cause the plane to crash. It's not a good system. So if this is a step in that direction, I'm all for it.
I think it's wonderful. It's one of the best things I've seen all week. It gives me hope for this country.
Yeah. And going into Thanksgiving, I hope some people take it to heart. I hope, if anyone watching this works in an airport, try to smile, try to let things roll off your back a little bit. Your attitude can also go a long way to making these things a little bit better. And let's all just be a little bit nicer to each other.
81.8 million Americans will travel 50 miles or more this year. 90% are expected to travel by car rather than fly. So to even just 10% of 81 million, you're talking about 8 million people flying across the United States. And I think the airlines have resumed. Oh, here it is from the New York Post. Thanksgiving travel will be the busiest in 15 years with over 360,000 flights. So you better be dressed nicely, otherwise Humberto will shame you.
I will shame you
at the airport.
It's a great time of the year for burglary. Burglary.
You shouldn't post when you leave vacation. People do that.
81 million people traveling around. I'm gonna have a wonderful American inspired Thanksgiving. I'm actually traveling for it and I'm gonna spend it with my really good buddy. I don't know if you guys friend of the show, Brandon Aceto. We're gonna have the best time. We're gonna eat all the turkey. We're gonna watch football so it's gonna be a wonderful time.
Welcome to America.
I'm very excited. This time of the year is when America really shines. Like anywhere from like October all the way to like New Year's, my favorite time of the year. Plus my birthday in between. So I'm just very, very happy at this time of the year. All the eating and talking and traveling. I don't know. There's something about it.
So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.